Welcome everybody to the first video of a series about the real-world historical elements in Fallout New Vegas Caesar's Legion. Fallout New Vegas is my favorite game of all time, and this is a video series I wanted to make for a while now. And since we are currently celebrating 25 years from the launch of the first Fallout game, I thought that this was the best time for me to do it. So let's begin by first finding out the similarities between Caesar's Legion and the Roman Empire. Before we deal with the main subject of this video, we need to do a brief introduction to the game's factions and setting. Caesar's Legion is one of the three main factions of the game. The other two are the New California Republic and Mr. House. We are in 2281, 204 years after the Great War that turned the United States into a nuclear wasteland. The New California Republic and the Legion are in direct conflict with each other, and the city of New Vegas, which almost entirely managed to avoid the atomic bombs, is the ultimate prize. As the player goes through the main story of the game, they will gradually learn more and more about these factions and decide whether to side with one of them or take an entirely different route. The Legion, like the rest of the main factions, is not introduced to the player from the start. Early in the game, before we meet them, we occasionally get NPCs talking about how they look and behave.
Hello.
Hi there. What can you tell me about the Legion?
Slavers, killers, and all other kinds of trouble. They dress up like Roman soldiers, so there's no mistaking it when you see them. The rumor is that the Legion is far larger than the NCR lets on, and that it's been due to luck that the Legion hasn't overrun the territory.
The player progresses for a while through the game, hearing only rumors and hints of what the Legion is. About halfway along the road to New Vegas, they are finally introduced and make very clear their viewpoint and the lengths they will go to achieve their goals. While exploring, if you decide to visit the town of Nipton, you'll be confronted with this rather unpleasant scene. What do we have here? Crucified guy, still alive. Decapitated heads, more decapitated heads, another crucified guy. And what is this? A guy with a dead wolf on his head. Great.
Don't worry. I won't have you lashed to a cross like the rest of these degenerates. It's useful that you happen by. I want you to witness the fate of the town of Nipton, to memorize every detail. And then, when you move on, I want you to teach everyone you meet the lesson that Caesar's Legion taught here, especially any NCR troops you run across.
What lessons did you teach here?
Where to begin? That they are weak and we are strong? This much was known already. But the depths of their moral sickness, their dissolution, Nipton serves as the perfect object lesson.
What exactly happened here?
Nipton was a wicked place, debased and corrupt. It served all comers, so long as they paid. Profligate troops, powder gangers, men of the Legion, such as myself. The people here didn't care. It was a town of whores. For a pittance, the town agreed to lead those it had sheltered into a trap. Only when I sprang it did they realize they were caught inside it too.
So, you captured everyone?
Yes, and herded them to the center of town. I told them their sins, the foremost being disloyalty. I told them that when legionaries are disloyal, some are punished, the others made to watch. And I announced the lottery. Each clutched his ticket, hoping it would set him free. Each did nothing, even when loved ones were dragged away to be killed.
Wait, you slaughtered innocent civilians?
Ha! Innocent. Hardly. Cowardly, though. They outnumbered us, yet not once did they try to resist. They stood and watched as their fellows were butchered, crucified, and burned. One by one, they stood and hoped their turn would not come. Each cared only for himself.
Well, your crimes are unforgivable, pal.
As are all crimes, If you feel strongly about it, attack us, and soon you won't feel a thing.
Okay, who do I kill first? This guy? This guy? This guy? So many choices! Oof, this is pretty harsh, even for Fallout's post-nuclear world standards. But does the first encounter with the Legion match what the real-world Roman Empire would do in a similar situation? Well, when it comes to things like treason, rebellion, or making a statement to their enemies, the Romans could be very brutal. This sort of thing wasn't unusual in antiquity. Ancient history is full of brutal massacres. But what made the Romans different was their efficiency and determination. Once you were marked for termination by the Romans, there was almost no negotiating your way out. There were many rebellions during the Roman Empire's long history, and some of them were dealt with notoriously brutal ways. The rebellion of Spartacus ended with all 6,000 captured slaves getting crucified along the Appian Way. At the end of the siege of Carthage, more than 60,000 people were massacred, all 50,000 survivors were sold to slavery, the entire city was razed to the ground stone by stone, and its soil was sown with salt, although this claim has never been verified. Even Athens was almost destroyed after it decided to ally itself with Mithridates VI. It was saved because of its fame and history, and because Roman senators had to beg General Sulla to stop the killing of Athenians and the sacking of the city. So, the Nipton scene shows that the Legion and ancient Rome are very similar when it comes to making a statement with violence. Although I don't think the Romans would go to these lengths just to show their disapproval of a city's morals. The game offers very little information about the societal structure of the Legion and its conquered territories. But what about the Legion's ideology and goals? Are there any similarities there between the Legion and the Roman Empire? If the player progresses a bit further into the game, they can ask Caesar, the Legion's founder and leader, to clarify a few things. In fact, why don't we pay him a visit right now? Alright, let's do this. Hi, doggy.
The new
Wait,
slave
what?
girls are quite
Oh my
beautiful.
god! Who said that? Oh, never mind. Hello, Caesar. How are you? Why is the dog barking when I'm trying to record? And stop looking creepily at me, you Hi, Caesar. How's things? Well, since I'm here, can you tell me why is Caesar's Legion so, strange?
I used Imperial Rome as the model for my Legion precisely because it was so foreign, so alien. I'd seen what had become of the NCR's attempts to emulate the culture of pre-war America, the infighting, the corruption. Rome was a highly militarized autocracy that effectively integrated the foreign cultures it conquered. It dedicated its citizens to something higher than themselves, to the idea of Rome itself. In Rome, I found a template for a society equal to the challenges of the post-apocalyptic world, a society that could and would survive, a society that could prevent mankind from fracturing and destroying itself in this new world by establishing a new Pax Romana.
So, according to Caesar, the Legion takes its inspiration from the following characteristics of the Roman Empire. Number 1. It was a highly militarized autocracy. Yep, Rome was highly militarized from the beginning of its history. It constantly had wars of expansion, and a large percentage of its male population, including its aristocracy, was expected to be enrolled in military service every year. It was an important part of being a citizen. In fact, non-Roman subjects frequently became citizens of the empire by completing their military service. Most of its noted politicians and later its emperors came from the army ranks and were expected to lead Rome's military campaigns in person. Number 2. It effectively integrated the cultures it conquered. Yes, Rome made sure to spread its civilization and culture to the territories it conquered through a process we today call Romanization. And they weren't just effective, they were incredibly effective. To the point where the impact of this integration into Roman culture is still prevalent in the modern world. From architecture, art and law, to names of people and locations, and even an entire alphabet and a group of languages. And number 3 in Caesar's list is that Rome also dedicated its citizens to something higher, the idea of Rome itself. Yes, Romans did have higher values, which were part of their mos maiorum, the ancestral customs which encapsulated the essence of being Roman. There were quite a lot of them. Here's some examples. Fides, trust and being trustworthy. Pietas, respecting gods, homeland, parents and family. Liberalitas, which was the act of giving freely and being generous. And the list goes on. The ideal Roman was supposed to have these virtues. They were at the heart of the Via Romana, the Roman way, which allowed Rome to conquer the world. Okay, so far it looks like Caesar has based his legion on some very obvious and well-known characteristics and principles of the Roman Empire. And he also believes that a society based on these characteristics and principles will be able to survive in a post-nuclear world. But I wonder, if we progress a bit further into the game and examine his ideas and methods a bit deeper, will the comparison with the Roman Empire still stand, or will it divert into a very different path? Maybe we will find out in the next video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe you learned a couple of things from it. Caesar's Legion and its various elements are quite a big subject, and I plan to make a few more videos about it. Please subscribe to my channel if you are interested in watching them. You can also check my previous video on the historical elements of the Forgotten City and my archaeological reconstructions in VR project. I put the links on the screen. And for now, Ave atque Vale.